Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sophie, and today feels a little special, honestly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leo. Yeah, this topic hits close to home for both of us.
Very close. We're talking about Speak English in 6 months, your 2026 real-life plan. And no, this is not one of those magical promises where you wake up fluent.
Exactly. It's more like real life. Busy days, low energy, self-doubt, and still wanting to speak English confidently.
If you've ever thought, I've been learning English for years, why can't I speak? This episode is for you.
Or if you're starting 2026 thinking, this year has to be different, we see you.
We'll talk honestly about what works, what doesn't, and how 6 months can actually change everything if you use the right plan.
And we'll keep it simple, practical, and human. No pressure, no shame.
Before we start, if you enjoyed this conversation, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And don't forget, there's a PDF with the full conversation waiting for you.
All right, ready? Let's begin.
Sophie, can I be honest? When people hear speak English in 6 months, they either get excited or they completely give up before starting.
I understand that so well. 6 months sounds short and long at the same time. Short because people want fast results, and long because they don't trust themselves to stay consistent.
Yes, consistency is the scary word. Most adults don't fail because they're bad at English. They fail because life gets in the way.
Work, family, stress, low energy, and then English becomes that thing I should do, not that thing I enjoy.
Exactly. I remember one learner telling me, I don't quit English. I just pause it for 3 years.
I've heard that too. And that's why this 6-month plan is not about studying harder. It's about studying smarter and in a way that fits real life.
So let's start with something important. What does speaking English actually mean?
Good question. For many people, it doesn't mean perfect grammar. It means ordering coffee without panic. It means joining a meeting and not staying silent. It means expressing simple thoughts clearly.
Right, and that mindset already changes everything. Because if your goal is perfect English, you'll feel stressed every day.
But if your goal is clear and confident enough, progress feels possible.
I like the phrase, good enough to communicate. That's a useful expression, by the way. It means not perfect, but effective.
Yes, and adults need to hear that. Another useful expression is show up. When you show up, you don't need to be amazing. You just need to be there.
Showing up for English 5 days a week, even for 20 minutes, beats one long study session once a month.
That's actually the base of this 6-month plan. Short, daily contact with English. Not heroic study days.
Let's talk about month 1. Emotionally, this is the hardest month.
Definitely. Month 1 is about building a habit, not fluency, and many learners make a mistake here.
They start with grammar books, long word lists, and very high expectations.
And after 1 week, they feel tired and disappointed. So instead, month 1 should feel light.
Light but consistent. In this month, your main job is listening and speaking a little every day.
Even talking to yourself counts. That surprises people.
It does, but speaking out loud trains your mouth and brain together. Reading silently doesn't do that.
Here's another expression learners love, out of your comfort zone. It means doing something that feels a little uncomfortable but helps you grow.
Speaking to yourself in English feels strange at first, but it's a safe way to step out of your comfort zone.
In month 1, we usually suggest simple daily routines. For example, listening to a short podcast while walking.
Or shadowing. That's when you listen and repeat at the same time, like an echo.
Yes, shadowing is powerful because it improves pronunciation and rhythm without thinking too much.
And notice something important. We didn't say study grammar for 2 hours.
Grammar is not banned, but it's not the main focus at the beginning. Speaking comes from exposure and use.
Another useful phrase here is trust the process. It means believing that small steps will work over time.
even if results are slow at first.
I love that one because many adults stop after 2 weeks and say, I'm not improving.
But improvement is quiet at the beginning. You don't feel it immediately.
Exactly. In month 1, success looks boring. You listen, you repeat, you show up.
And emotionally, that's challenging because adults want proof quickly.
So we need to be kind to ourselves. That's another expression. Be kind to yourself. It means don't judge yourself too harshly.
If you miss a day, you don't quit. You continue the next day.
That mindset alone can save months of frustration.
So if someone listening right now feels nervous about starting, what would you say to them?
You don't need motivation first. You need a small plan first. Motivation comes after action.
That's so true. Action creates confidence, not the other way around.
And 6 months from now, you won't remember the fear. You'll remember that you finally started.
That feels like a good place to pause.
Yes, if you're listening and thinking, maybe I can do this, that's enough for today.
Before we move forward, I want to slow this down a bit because many listeners think, okay, month 1 is about habits. I get it. But they still feel unsure. They ask themselves, am I really learning or am I just listening to sounds?
That doubt is very normal, especially for adults. We're used to measuring progress with tests, numbers, or clear results. Language learning doesn't always work like that. In month 1, your brain is adjusting. It's getting used to English sounds, rhythm, and patterns, even if you don't notice it yet.
I remember when I learned another language, I felt stupid for weeks. I listened every day, but I couldn't speak properly. Then one day, simple sentences just came out without thinking.
That moment surprises everyone, and that's why patience matters so much. This brings us to month 2, which is when things slowly start to feel more real.
Month 2 is interesting because confidence and fear grow at the same time.
Yes, because now you understand more, but you also realize how much you don't know.
Exactly. And that's where many learners freeze. They think, I'm not ready to speak yet.
But the truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. Speaking happens before feeling ready.
That's such an important idea. In month 2, speaking should become part of your routine, not something special.
What a nice idea. Maybe answering simple questions out loud, or recording my voice for 1 minute.
Recording your voice sounds scary, but it's actually very helpful. At first, people hate their voice.
Everyone does. But after a while, you notice improvement. You hear clearer sentences, better flow.
Flow is another useful word. It means speaking smoothly, without stopping too much.
And flow doesn't come from knowing more grammar rules. It comes from using familiar phrases again and again.
This is where everyday expressions become powerful. Instead of learning single words, you learn chunks.
I'm not sure. It depends. Or let me think.
Buy you time is a great expression. It means giving yourself a few seconds to think without silence.
Adults love that because silence feels uncomfortable. These small tools reduce stress.
In month 2, we usually suggest one simple rule. Don't translate everything in your head.
Translation slows you down and increases fear. Try to think in short English phrases instead.
Even broken English is okay. Communication matters more than correctness.
And emotionally, this month is about acceptance. Accepting mistakes, accents, and imperfect sentences.
I often tell learners, mistakes are not a problem. Silence is.
That sentence alone changes how people see speaking.
Now, month 3 is where many people either quit or level up.
Because this is the month when motivation drops. The excitement is gone, but fluency isn't here yet.
This is the danger zone. Life feels busy and English feels slow.
So the plan must change slightly. Month 3 is about connection, not just practice.
Connection with people, right?
Yes, real people. That could be language partners, online conversation groups, or even short comments on videos.
Speaking with real humans makes English feel alive again.
and it reminds you why you're learning. Not for books, but for communication.
There's another useful expression here. Keep going. It sounds simple, but emotionally, it's strong.
Especially when progress feels slow. Keep going doesn't mean pushing harder. It means not stopping.
In month 3, even 2 or 3 short conversations per week can change everything.
And don't wait for perfect partners. Any interaction is valuable.
That's important. Some learners say, I'll speak when my English is better.
But speaking makes your English better. It's not a reward at the end.
I want to ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like giving up while learning a language?
Many times. I remember one moment clearly. I was in a group conversation and I couldn't follow anything. I smiled, nodded, and felt invisible.
That feeling hurts.
It does. But instead of quitting, I decided to focus on small wins. One sentence, one opinion, one question.
Small wins build courage. That's another expression worth remembering.
And courage is more important than talent in language learning.
I agree completely. By the end of month 3, learners usually notice something big.
They don't panic as much anymore.
Yes, English stops feeling like an enemy.
It becomes a tool, still imperfect, but useful.
And that mindset prepares you for the next phase.
Exactly. The second half of the 6-month journey is where confidence really grows.
Let's pause here and let that sink in.
Now that we're in the second half of the 6-month plan, I want to say something clearly, because this is where many adults finally start to feel different inside. Around month 4, English stops feeling like a school subject and starts feeling like a skill you actually use.
I love how you said that, because month 4 is usually the first time learners say, wait, I just spoke without translating. That moment is small, but emotionally it's huge.
It really is. And when that happens, people suddenly trust themselves a little more. They don't feel fluent yet, but they feel capable.
Capability is a great word here. It means you believe you can handle situations, even if they're not perfect.
Exactly. And month 4 is about building that belief on purpose. The strategy changes again here.
Yes, because now listening and speaking are already habits. The question becomes, how do we make speech more natural?
One answer is repetition with variation. That means talking about the same topic many times, but in slightly different ways.
Like explaining your job to different people, or talking about your weekend in short and longer versions.
Right. Repeating familiar topics reduces stress and improves fluency.
And fluency, just to remind everyone, doesn't mean fast English. It means comfortable English.
Comfortable English includes pauses, simple words, and natural expressions.
This is also the month where learners should start reacting more in conversations.
Yes, reactions like, really? That makes sense, or I see what you mean.
These reactions show engagement, even if your vocabulary is limited.
And they make conversations feel real, not like an exam.
Emotionally, month 4 feels lighter. The fear is still there, but it doesn't control you anymore.
I've seen learners smile while speaking at this stage, and that's a big sign of progress.
Smiling means you're relaxed, and relaxation helps your brain work better in another language.
That brings us to month 5, which is my favorite month.
Mine too, because this is when confidence becomes visible.
In month 5, learners usually start expressing opinions, not just facts.
Saying things like, I think, I prefer, or in my experience.
Those phrases are powerful. They help you sound more personal and human.
And they shift English from survival mode to connection mode.
Exactly. This month is about depth, not speed.
Instead of many topics, you choose a few topics you care about and talk about them more deeply.
Work, family, goals, challenges, hobbies. Real-life topics.
And this is where storytelling comes in.
Simple stories, not long ones. Maybe explaining a problem at work or a small success.
Storytelling helps organize your thoughts and give structure to your speaking.
Another useful expression here is to be honest. It signals openness and builds connection.
When learners use phrases like that, conversations feel more natural.
Emotionally, month 5 is interesting because confidence grows, but self-criticism can return.
Yes, people start noticing their mistakes again, but now from a higher level.
That's normal. It means your awareness is improving.
The key is not to let that awareness turn into silence.
Exactly. Awareness should guide you, not stop you.
Now let's talk about month 6, but carefully, because this is not the finish line.
I'm glad you said that. Month 6 is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming independent.
Independent enough to continue without a strict plan.
In this month, learners usually realize something powerful. English is part of their life now.
They watch content, think, react, and sometimes even dream in English.
And speaking feels normal, not special.
That's the real success.
In month 6, we encourage learners to reflect.
Reflection means looking back and noticing how far you've come.
Many people forget to do that, and they miss their own growth.
And growth deserves recognition.
Absolutely. Confidence grows when you see your progress clearly.
So if someone listening right now is in month 4, 5, or 6, what would you tell them?
Don't rush. You're not behind. You're exactly where you should be.
And if English feels easier than before, that's not luck. That's your effort working.
You earned it, step by step.
That feels like a good moment to pause again.
Yes, let's leave some space for reflection.
As we come to this final part of our conversation, I want to speak directly to the listener who might be sitting quietly right now, maybe on a bus or at home after a long day, wondering if 6 months of effort can really change something that has felt difficult for years.
I'm glad you said that, because many adults carry a lot of emotional weight when it comes to English, including past failures, embarrassing moments, or the feeling that they started too late. And those emotions often matter more than grammar or vocabulary.
Exactly. And that's why month 6 is not about adding more pressure, but about changing your relationship with English so it no longer feels like an enemy or a test you are constantly failing.
When learners reach this stage, they often realize that English is no longer something they study, but something they live with, even in small ways, like thinking about their plans or reacting to a video in their head.
This is where independence truly begins, because you stop asking, what should I study next, and start asking, how can I use English in my life today?
That shift is powerful, and it usually comes from months of showing up consistently, even on days when motivation was low and progress felt invisible.
I want to talk about something very practical here, which is how to continue after these 6 months without burning out or losing direction.
Yes, because the goal was never to finish English, but to reach a point where English fits naturally into your routine, like exercise or listening to music.
One strategy that works well is choosing one main English activity that you genuinely enjoy and letting that become your anchor.
For some people, it's podcasts. For others, it's short conversations, watching videos, or even journaling in simple English.
The important thing is that English stops feeling like homework and starts feeling like personal time.
This matters so much because adults already have enough responsibilities, and adding another obligation often leads to resistance.
I've seen learners who speak very naturally but still say, I'm not fluent, because their idea of fluency is unrealistic.
That's why redefining success is essential at this stage, and success might simply mean that you are no longer afraid to open your mouth.
Fear is often the real barrier, not ability, and by month 6, that fear usually becomes much quieter.
I also want to talk about self-trust, because trusting yourself to communicate, even with mistakes, is what allows you to grow beyond this plan.
Self-trust develops slowly through hundreds of small moments where you speak, survive, and realize that nothing terrible happens.
And once that trust is there, English stops controlling you, and you start controlling how you use English.
If we look back at the entire 6-month journey, it's clear that the real transformation is not only linguistic, but personal.
People often become more confident, more patient with themselves, and more open to new experiences through this process.
I've even heard learners say that learning English helped them speak up more in their own language, too.
That makes sense, because learning to express yourself in another language builds courage that transfers into other areas of life.
So if someone listening right now is still doubting themselves, thinking maybe this works for others but not for me, I want them to hear this clearly.
You are not broken, you are not too old, and you are not bad at languages. You simply needed a realistic plan and permission to be imperfect.
6 months of steady human effort can absolutely change how you speak and how you feel about English.
And even more importantly, it can change the story you tell yourself of what you are capable of.
That story matters because it shapes your future actions long after this plan ends.
If English has been a closed door for you, it doesn't need to stay that way.
You've already taken the first step by listening, reflecting, and imagining a different version of yourself.
And that version is not perfect, but confident, active, and willing to speak.
I think that's the most realistic and hopeful ending we could offer.
I agree. And I truly hope that 6 months from now, you'll look back at this moment and feel proud that you decided to begin.